Hello, Digital Dealer virtual conference attendees. Thank you so much for checking out my presentation titled RickRoll'd, what Rick Astley teaches us about CRM process and what he gets wrong. My name is Joe Webb, and if you do not know me, I am the president of DealerKnows Consulting. We work with organizations to help improve how they communicate through the CRM with their customers, online, on the phone, on the lot, BDC training, in-store sales training. And what many do not know about me is I am the president of the Rick Astley Fan Club Automotive Chapter. Yes, that is correct. Big time, lifelong Rick Astley fan. Who is Rick Astley? You may ask yourself. Well, I will tell you, Rick Astley was born to Cynthia and Horace Astley in the town as Newton-le-Willows, England, in 1966. And unfortunately, his parents did get divorced when he was 5 years old. He lived with his father, a very religious man, who put him in the church choir. And that is how he developed such an amazing singing voice. Rick Astley has sold 40 million albums worldwide, a true sensation. However, the beauty of it is that from 1987 to 1993 is when the great majority of all of his work was done. Just a 6.5 year period is when he put out all those amazing songs, those gems. However, he is very adept at playing drums, piano, guitar, and saxophone. So a man of many, many talents. He was, many consider, an overnight success. He's a soulful pop star, and most know him as an internet sensation. He has jumped back into the well in 2001, 2005, 2016, and 2018 for some surprising albums to take us all by storm and win our hearts over again. Most know him from the RickRoll. First question out there, and we're going to take 60 seconds. I want to know if you can guess when the RickRoll was created, when the official, not when the song came out, but when the RickRoll internet sensation was created. Hopefully you all know what that is. Go to bit.ly/DD29survey. That's it, bit.ly/DD29survey. Go in on your mobile devices. I know you have it on your phone right now. Go in and do it. We're going to take just 35, 45 seconds left. Go in there, make your guess as to when it was invented. Okay, first few guesses pouring in. See if you know, a couple got it right. Keep going. bit.ly/DD29survey. Awards will be given. All over the board here, but some of you are getting it right. Great. All right, I will tell you what the answer is. The answer was 2007. Many of you got it right. Congratulations. 2007, when the RickRoll came to be. So I will tell you, Rick Astley teaches us so very much about how to communicate with customers through the CRM. Here's the first thing Rick teaches us, and he's known to have some of the best dance moves of any singer in history. Some of the most amazing rhythm, and you'll see here as a moment. But his dance moves here teach us about how to distribute leads. So you see how he's going back and forth here? See how he's going back and forth? That is how you distribute leads in your dealerships, ladies and gentlemen. Very quickly and round robin. Very quickly and round robin. And then notice one thing he does here. He's handing out his leads quickly, and he's giving them round robin, equally distributing them. And then he sort of pulls them back in here. You'll see he pulls them back in. When he pulls them back in, that is where your BDC comes to play, because your sales team cannot, if you're distributing leads to your sales team, cannot be the last person of which they speak to. There should always be a backstop that a BDC makes that final call, couple attempts out to your team. But distribute leads the way Rick Astley dances. So smooth. So we're going to go through 4 of just the greatest songs known to man, and by most people's considerations. Number 1, Never Gonna Give You Up. The hit. Now you might think that this chart topper really just teaches us about the lengths that this handsome ginger devil will go through to make you happy and to win you over, but nay, that is not the case. He teaches us about buyer behavior, about messaging content, follow-up communication tactics, and ongoing efforts. It's all in the lyrics he uses. Now we're going to dissect some of these lyrics. It's called, from a professional, a music aficionado, it's called reading the subtext. So again, this was all dedicated. He wrote all of this to teach us. So I am not a professional singer. I need you to all know that. I am a semi-amateur, part-time professional singer. So when I do this, I'm not going to be able to live up to the standards that Rick Astley set so very high. I'm only going to do my best as a semi-amateur, part-time professional singer. So, ready? We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. So what is he telling us here? This really teaches us a lot about the buyer behavior. They have gone and shopped before. This is not the customer's first rodeo when submitting a lead online, but I will tell you just a few interesting data points. The average consumer has been shopping online for about 108 to 109 days, depending if it's a new or used vehicle. They spend on average 14 hours researching the vehicle online and visiting a minimum of 18 different websites before they choose to buy a car. They know that there's a give and take. When an internet prospect submits their inquiry into your dealership, they understand you are going to be contacting them back. They understand whether or not they like it or love it, that you more than likely are going to try to call them. You should be trying to text them and email them. Hopefully you're even sending them videos, but they're no strangers to this. Even though the average consumer shops 4 to 5 different dealerships, that when they do submit an inquiry online, they know that this is coming. So don't be too hesitant about reaching out to them. Again, buyer behavior is important for your dealership to know, otherwise they're really sunk. A full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. Again, semi-amateur, part-time professional. So what is he trying to tell us here? This is a lot about the messaging content. I will tell you that you should always be sharing a value proposition from your dealership. More than likely you are. But are you sharing sort of a personal value proposition, whether it's about why buy from me, or at the very least a video, endearing yourself to the customer? I can't impress upon you enough the importance of having a video go out to the customer in the first 24 hours. And if that's a video introducing yourself to the customer, that is where you start to differentiate yourself. You're not going to get that from any other dealership. So go ahead, show that you're emotionally involved with the customer's transaction, with their purchase process, by endearing them to you. Now, I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand. No, this is where Rick gets it wrong. Rick gets it wrong. We are too busy as dealerships trying to tell them and ask them questions that are what I call dealer-centric rather than customer-centric. So get away from the dealer-centric questions. A dealer-centric question could be, hey, let me ask, are you paying cash or financing or going to lease? That's information that can either be determined when the customer comes in the showroom or in a digital retailing tool. Another question could be something along the lines of, hey, we're desperately in need of trades. We're seeking your trade. Again, that's a us-centric question. If you were saying, hey, how's your credit? I know it sounds like we're asking about them, but we're really trying to clear up things for ourselves. Again, don't ask those questions. Ask things such as, hey, I want to make sure you receive the information that you requested. Did you get it? Hey, can you confirm that you received the video walk around I sent you? Or would it be all right if I sent you updated incentives and information rebates when that information becomes available. Those are customer-centric needs and questions. We're offering to do them favors. So don't try to make it about what we need. Make it about what you can deliver to them. Now here's where the chorus pops in. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you, never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. A lot to unpack there, I know. And most people know that these are probably some of the most profound lyrics ever written in a song. So let's start to dissect these. When Rick says, I'm never going to give you up, what he means is I'm going to keep reaching out to you until we connect. I'm going to keep coming after you, keep reaching out to you. So that is really important to alert people how you're going to follow up and that you're going to follow up. In some cases, even when you're going to follow up. So how do you do that? How do we RickRoll'd style this? How do we RickRoll'd style that? A great way to do it is whenever you're leaving a voicemail message, if you're a BDC salesperson leaving a voicemail message from the customer, just let them know. If I don't hear from you soon, I'm going to call you again tonight. If I don't hear back from you shortly, I'm going to call you again tomorrow. Always letting them know that future contact is coming. And in your emails, if I don't hear from you soon, I'll give you a call and send you a text message. Let them know that you're not going to give up. You're going to continue reaching out until you connect. It's important that they know that's coming. You will find the customers calling you back to stop those preemptive calls in some cases, to not so much get it over with, but to finally connect. When Rick says, never going to let you down, he means that he is going to explain everything to you, all the process steps on what you can expect either in advance of coming in or when you come in. Now, how do we RickRoll style that? Because explaining the process and the next steps is imperative. One way in email to do it is we create road to the sale templates for our clients. So letting a customer know exactly what those process steps are based on how much they've completed online, what you're going to do when they come in, who they're going to work with, where they're going to park, what they're going to drive, and inevitably how smoothly this is going to go. But tell them what those next steps are. Or something as simple as, hey, after you have sent them a quote, the next step for us is to schedule an on-site or off-site test drive. Or something as simple as, when you drive into our lot, please park next to the vehicle that you're coming in to see. I will already have it pulled up, washed, waxed, gas ready to go for you. Explaining the process is a great way to let them visualize what their experience is going to be like. When Rick says, I'm never going to run around and desert you, he means it. He means, and sometimes it might sound like a veiled threat. Maybe that's good. But what it means is you are going to be an advocate by their side. Customers need to know that they're not going to get passed around to 10, 15 different people. When you set an appointment with them, they're going to be working with you. And it's a little different from a BDC. This is where a BDC can tell them exactly who to ask for when they arrive, exactly what sales agent is going to be working for them or product specialist. It's also important that we're not double booking ourselves. So, how do we do that RickRoll'd style? Just let them know that, when you come in, I'm going to be by your side. You're not going to go out for any of those 8 smoke breaks of the days while they're waiting for their deal to get loaded in finance. You are going to sit with them on the test drive. You're going to walk them through every single action. You're never going to run around and leave them alone with nothing to do. When Rick says, I'm never going to make you cry, he means there's not going to be any surprises, okay? He means there's not going to be any surprises. You're not going to show up after a long drive. There's not going to be a lot of hidden addendums. You're not going to get there and the vehicle will have been sold or no longer available. There's not going to be any destination bumps. So, how do you RickRoll that? Just let them know something. I love saying to consumers, when you come in, I know you and I both know some of the games that other dealers play. When you come in, you can rest assured that I will be there, the vehicle will be available, and there is not going to be any surprises in regard to the figures or any of the numbers we've discussed in advance of you coming in. You can say those type of things. And I love saying, you and I both know some of the games other dealers play. Let them know that you are the truthful one. You're going to be the one delivering for them, and you're going to live up to your promises. When Rick says he's never going to say goodbye, albeit even though he left us high and dry for 8 years after 1993, waiting for another magical album, and he says he's never going to say goodbye, he means he's going to deliver everything you need to make a decision. This is going to be an ongoing effort. He's going to make good on the promise on, listen, even the call to action on your website. If they click it, if it says request a quote, get an e-price, what should you be delivering? That is correct. Rick wants you to deliver a price. That's how you Rickroll style that. If you say you're going to send the customer a video of the vehicle, by all means, follow through, send a video of them. Show a vehicle walk-around video, which answers the availability question. Is that vehicle actually on the lot and available? If you say you're going to bring the vehicle to them, bring the vehicle to them. This gives you the ability to offer them pricing, offer them the opportunity to build out their deal with digital retailing software on your website. There's so many countless things that you can do to make sure the customer has all the information they need, their I's dotted, their T's crossed, to make an informed, competent decision and trust you as the one to have delivered that to them. When Rick says he's never going to tell a lie and hurt you, Rick means he's never going to tell a lie and hurt you. I mean, sometimes it's just as simple as that. How do you Rickroll that? This is a great way to prove to customers that you are not only just their advocate, but you are a trusted authority and resource. So for instance, something as simple as an old school, I'll say, as an evidence manual on your desk, or a digital display, photo display of happy customers and testimonials you've generated, sending out to other consumers a customer testimonial template. We build those for dealers, as well as we urge individual salespeople to leverage the dealer rater reviews that they themselves have generated, put it into either their own template, their own evidence manual, and let customers know that others have considered you a trusted resource and you've delivered exactly what you've promised to them as well. It gives them some feeling of safety. A lot of great data slide here from Rick, but it does show very equally across the board. There's never just one thing that he just said that's going to make a customer happy. It's everything. If you just say, hey, I'm never going to let you down, they could very much still run around on you. If you say I'm never going to say goodbye, it could just mean you're a stalker. It takes a little bit of everything to make this all come together. Not just timing gets it done when following up with leads. You can be very fast, but have the wrong content when you're reaching out to customers. Just the right content is great, but if there's no video or multimedia or pricing, it falls by the wayside. And even if that pricing and information gets to them too late, again, it takes an entire circle of Rick Astley to let customers know, to win them over and to capture their business. A really great puzzle here that answers the next slide, but it says 79% of people don't know the opposite words for the following. I'll give you all just a moment to figure out what this is. You got it yet? Great. The answer is, it is the title to the next James Bond movie. There were rumors that it was Tom Hardy. Absolutely not. Rick Astley is the next James Bond, and I cannot wait to see this film. We're going to move on to his second song, second slayer, if you will, from the amazing album Whenever You Need Somebody. And this is the title song on the album, ladies and gentlemen. What Whenever You Need Somebody teaches us. The singing T-Boy has dropped in so many notes to us here. It teaches about BDC mindset, phone etiquette, timing, how to set appointments, and some basic building of value. So, you know, when Rick says, I've been stood up, messed around, and taken for a fool, but next time round, I'm going to change the rules. What he means is sometimes we can get disheartened in the BDC, or we can automatically feel bad because we've had negative experiences with other customers not returning our calls, leaving us high and dry, waiting to hear back from, and not getting any engagement. What your BDC team needs to know is that if they do a very great job, 85% of people tell them no, or they never hear from them again. 85%, maybe even 90%. And of all those people that they get on the phone, only 40 to 60% are going to set appointments. Now, I know there's other trainers out there who say, you should be setting an 80% appointment set ratio. I will tell you, when they say those type of things in your meetings, they're being idiots. They're reckless. Just because we all trainers have had 1, 2, or 3 clients that have been able to achieve an 80% appointment set ratio, that doesn't mean it should be the benchmark that all dealers should be held to. It just means that's a high mark that they can reach, and not that every dealership should be achieving that. But your team needs to know what the realistic metrics are that they can and should be achieving, so they do not get disheartened. Let them know that. Again, understanding the BDC mindset is imperative. Some basic phone etiquette. When he says, and I don't care about the things that people say, it's you I think about each and every day. When Rick drops that monster on us deep into our hearts, he's talking about the fact that your BDC needs to recognize, or sales team, that every single customer is new. Every single customer is new to them. They may not have shopped for 7 years, so you need to have that inflection and quality tone and excitement in your voice. Let them know that every single new call to a new prospect is an opportunity to win somebody over for something exciting, as quality enthusiasm for the product and the process. So, I mean, how you RickRoll style that is something, I just want to make sure you're receiving my emails and you're getting all the information you want. I can be reached through email, phone, text. You can hear a smile. And how do you RickRoll this? Make sure your team is calling with a smile. When you're all alone and if you're feeling down, call me, I'll be around. Timing. Rick Astley taught us about the timing of following up with customers ongoing. So, for instance, most customers, just like us, are best available for personal calls, are best available at certain times. So lunchtime, 11 to 1 p.m. I'm not saying when a new lead comes in, yes, you call those people right away. If it's an ongoing call, ongoing follow-up, I love different times. So for instance, 11 to 1 is a great time to make your ongoing follow-up calls. 5 to 7 p.m., even better time to make your ongoing follow-up calls. Or lastly, if those aren't working, when the lead was submitted. People are creatures of habit. If they submitted a lead at 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon one day, they're dictating to us that 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon and future days could be good as well. So make sure you're flipping it around, but calling every customer first thing in the morning, if it's an ongoing follow-up customer, might not be the best time to get hold of them because everyone's at work focusing on what they're doing. Whenever you need somebody, I'll bring my love to you. COVID taught us one important thing. Not all customers are ready to, want to, or need to come into the showroom. So while it's great to invite people in for test drives and trade appraisals and the right appointments, offering to bring the vehicle over the curb to their home, to their work, to a public place halfway in between where you live and where your dealership operates, and then who to expect on who's going to be bringing that vehicle goes a long way towards proving that you are willing to do things that other dealers do not. Lost inside your love is where I want to be. I'm just asking you to spend some time with me. One of the things that DealerKnows teaches is we absolutely don't want to invite people in for the wrong reasons. Not just the wrong reasons, but the wrong activities. So inviting somebody in to look at it, see it, check it out, visit, set an appointment. Those are things customers don't want to do. They can look at it online, check it out online, see it online. We want to invite them in for the test drive, great actionable thing they usually haven't done yet. An in-store trade appraisal that we usually say is sort of a condition check or drivability test. Credit approval, so you can fill out your information online in a credit application. But most prefer to meet with one of our business directors, give all that sensitive information in the secure environment of our dealership. And then lastly, the purchase. If you're getting leads from far and wide, don't invite them in for something they can do at a dealership close to them. Invite them in for the purchase. How you RickRoll style that is exactly, as I said, one of my favorite questions to ask every customer is, have you had the opportunity to test drive this vehicle? We're asking them to spend some time with us and that vehicle for a test drive, not just to hang out. Time and time, you say you want to be free and you can have some fun. That's okay with me. Time is of the utmost importance to customers. It is imperative that they know your goal is to save them time. That's why they're doing all this research online in the first place, is you cut out some of that time. So what can you do to make their experience more fun, to make time move faster? Can you have a drink waiting for them? Can you offer to buy them lunch and or dinner? Can you make sure that you're doing something as simple as appraising the trade while they're on the test drive to cut that time out, have a deal preloaded, you have the vehicle pulled up ready to go, that can save them time. There's a host of things that you can do to offer the customer to let them believe that you truly do value their time. We're going to jump into the future a little bit. We're going to jump into the future to one of my personal favorites. This one hits me hard. It's called Cry for Help, one of his next albums. And Cry for Help, I could never do justice to this. This is the song that proved Rick Astley is very much the songbird of our entire generation. I urge you to go on YouTube, search Cry for Help, the official video, the original, not the remake. That's fantastic too, but this is great. Unsold showroom follow-up. I wouldn't even try to take away. I don't have the pipes. Nobody does. But you need to listen to it. So, she's taking my time, convince me she's fine, but when she leaves, I'm not so sure. It's always the same. She's playing her game, and when she goes, I feel to blame. You should. It's probably your fault. Why won't she say she needs me? I know she's not as strong as she seems. Customers need us, whether or not they want to admit it or not. But we are usually needed not to sell them something, but to facilitate the sale. If somebody leaves, it very much could be your fault. And this is where a BDC really comes in, is that you don't always know why a customer left, but you usually know when a customer shows up shopping for a vehicle that they do indeed need and or want a vehicle. So how do you RickRoll this? You RickRoll this having a BDC or a manager, a second voice, call the customer typically 24 to 48 hours after a customer leaves unsold. And how do you execute that call? Simple, 5 questions. You say, most specifically, after you've received authorization to continue the call, which are something we train staff to do, you can just ask, was Bill able to answer all your questions when you were here? Great. Did Bill offer you a test drive? Was the vehicle you test drove the one that you'd like to own? What prevented you from purchasing while you were here? And you ask those questions and you try to get a quality answer. And if and when they do give you that answer, you say, great, I'd love to, if you can go for the appointment, great, but otherwise, I'd love to take this information to my manager and see if they're able to overcome or assuage some of your concerns. When would be the best time for them to call you back? So going forward and trying to understand the customer experience in the store is very important, so you understand their mindset, their buying time frame. You don't always get it. Sometimes they're just apprehensive to make a purchase when they're first there. They still want to uncover some information for themselves. Follow-up call from a second voice goes a long way towards doing that. And moreover, as part of the unsold shopping experience, and here is where he's lighting it up with his backup singers, inside your CRM, you need to have multiple different tracks and workflows built out for you and your team based upon the reason why a customer left. So if a customer left because they weren't getting enough for their trade, that is an entirely different follow-up process and follow-up messaging than a customer who, for instance, left because we were not able to get them financed. So if they were subprime, maybe, and not maybe, an entirely different follow-up scope happens with different templates, different emails, different word tracks that your team's using. If no agreement reached, they just couldn't reach on numbers, that's different than if a customer couldn't find the vehicle they're looking for and we had to put them on a wish list. So make sure your CRM is broken down into multiple different tracks, not just for inbound, but for unsold as well. Now we're gonna go to the fourth and final song we're gonna hit you with, the classic, the real bumper, the toe tapper, Together Forever. And Together Forever teaches us about post-sale activity because we want these people for a long time. So it teaches us about customer attention and inevitably customer experience, CX. So when Rick says, if there's anything you need. All you have to do is say, you know you satisfy everything in me. We shouldn't waste a single day. Again, I'm all of a sudden now getting a sore throat. But it's all in the lyrics. Talks to us about post-sale activities, post-sale tasks for the salespeople, but don't just allow your salespeople alone to follow up with customers that they just sold vehicles to. You also need to follow up a couple days later with your business development center, if at all possible, or a manager, to ask them not only how their experience was again in store, but if there's anything that we still owe to them, if there's anything that they don't understand about their vehicle, and we can schedule a re-delivery for them. Mention these CSI or service reminders. Don't let days slip by connecting with a customer post-sale. It's the time when the customer is loving their vehicle the highest and still has questions and is a bit unsure about their vehicle. So don't stop me falling, it's destiny calling, a power I just can't deny. Customer attention. So it's destiny calling, equity calls, trade up calls, lease return calls. If lease return calls, equity calls, and trade up calls aren't a part of your post-sale process, then you are just straight missing deals. I almost can't look at the screen the way he's burning his eyes right into my soul. Your team needs to make sure that not only are these scheduled in the CRM, but your managers must make sure that they're completing these all important tasks. It's never changing. Can you hear me? I'm saying, I want you for the rest of my life. We always say we don't want to just help a customer buy one car. We want to help them buy all of their vehicles. So how do you do that? Anniversary calls, service reminder emails, service reminder calls, service appointment confirmation calls, visiting them when they're in service, calling them on their birthday, heck, shooting a video and singing the happy birthday song to them. Not like Rick Astley and his sweet, sweet pipes could, but the way your team could. They will just appreciate the effort. That's how to build a level of customer experience, make yourself an advocate, make yourself memorable, and stay in front of the customer ongoing so they'll always come back to you. Together forever and never to part, together forever we two. And don't you know I would give heaven and earth, or move heaven and earth to be together forever with you. Sorry. He said, together forever we two. Not three, not four. Do your job. If you're a salesperson, after you've sold a vehicle, you should want to be their primary point of contact ongoing forever, especially if this is more than a job but a career. You should be excited to connect with your past customers. They have the highest closing ratio as well. Having really improving that retention of your past customers, the two of you, maybe when they come in, maybe you offer pick up a drop off in service. Maybe you can take them to lunch when they're in for service. Maybe you send them a handwritten thank you card. We know dealers that send individual people that send chocolate cakes out to the people that the individual salespeople take this money out of their own pocket and do that to be memorable. So remember, together forever, we two. If they ever get you down, there's always something I can do, because I wouldn't ever want to see you frown. I'll always do what's best for you. While we're speaking about service, because I mentioned service last couple slides, this is where customer experience comes in. You are the customer's advocate. Sometimes customers might not absolutely love their experience when they're in for service. They might learn that they have a big maintenance expense coming upon them. It is great to be able to be a mediator or a friendly advisor in between the sales writer or the service director and your customer. Sit alongside them, not alongside your service team, but alongside them to help explain what's happening to them, assist them in understanding. Goes a long way towards, again, being a trusted authority. And he says, there ain't no mistaking, it's true love we're making, something to last for all time. It's never changing, can you hear me? I'm saying, I want you for the rest of my life. No, No, Rick, stop. You've gone too far. You've gone too far this time. That's creepy. You don't do those things. Customers don't click on a button that says, I want to make a friend. They click on a button that says, I want to quote. So don't always feel the need to insert yourself on a personal level into your customer's life. You can be an advocate for them. You can be a facilitator, but pump the brakes there, Rick. Jeez. And again, while there might have been something creepy about that, there is nothing creepy about these sweet, sweet moves. It's just good, clean fun. I urge you, check it out. Good, clean fun. So anyway, recapping it, between his amazing hit, Never Gonna Give You Up, and his album and title song, Whenever You Need Somebody, the immaculate, awe-inspiring Cry for Help, and the toe-tapping hit Together Forever, Rick has taught us about BDC content, communication, follow-up methodologies, new goals, making sure your team understands how to go and prepare themselves for each call, unsold showroom, post-sale, and even service. Rick has given us all the clues that we're going to need to be a forever friend of that customer. Make sure your team understands how to use all these assets, how to leverage that CRM, how to promote the correct usage of a BDC, what they should be sending and what they should be saying. And you can turn all of your young whippersnappers, just like Rick Astley here, into this straight, delicious ball of man candy. Look at that. Look at that. Just stellar. Fascinating. So again, I want to thank you all for your time. My name is Joe Webb, and you can reach me at DealerKnows Consulting, Joe at DealerKnows. That is not a picture of me, as much as we look alike. Any questions? Thank you, everybody.